Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible. With special thanks to Nine Knives, Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Dragon Matrix 7, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Lima, Nathan Welch Jr., Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, as we gear up for our second outing of Act 2. I did end up tracking down Sosiel. It turns out he's entrenched in the infirmary, so we'll go have a chat with him right after we take a nap.
It's sad that your mom died, but it's good that she didn't see the terrible things you were forced to live through. Every cloud has a silver lining, doesn't it?
It does indeed. For instance, when you die, the world will be free of one hideous, foolish girl.
Cam, this is why no one likes you. She has consistently ranked lowest in my various Pathfinder companion polls, so we will not be using her in our party unless we absolutely have to. Alright, let's go have a chat with Sosiel. Oh, but first, let's have Nenio scribe that new scroll. Nevia's still MIA, but I'm sure she'll turn up eventually. I'm actually pretty sure I know exactly why she vanished. But, we'll see if she pops back up after we do Soso's thing. Hey, Forn. We'll worry about him a bit later. Good afternoon, Commander. Thank you for finding the time to speak with me. A dark-skinned man with a friendly smile looks you right in the eye. He's clean-shaven, and his clothing and equipment are impeccable, from his shiny boots to his ironed collar. Sosiel, right? You wanted to talk? I have a personal request. While we're still in the vicinity of Canabras, I'd like to visit the martyr Zacharias' cemetery nearby. I want to attend the funeral of my friends from the Temple of Shaylin, who died defending the city. And if it isn't too much to ask, I'd like you to accompany me when I honor their memory. Their friends and relatives will be there. Who knows, perhaps the commander's own presence will be a small consolation for them. I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful. Yeah, I guess I can swing that. But why don't you tell me a bit about yourself, Sosiel? To be honest, I don't have much to tell. I had done little with life until I met you. But if you want to know anything, just ask. Great. Where are you from? From Andoran. I grew up in the outskirts of Karpenden, a large, rich city surrounded by gardens and vineyards. Just imagine, miles and miles of greenery and fragrant orchards. Sosiel inhales with pleasure, as if he could still sense the aromas of his faraway homeland. My family had a small winery. I worked there from a young age. I pressed juice, did a little carpentry, painted. And one day I discovered I could do more with paint than simply cover walls with it. There was a Temple of Shaylin nearby. My brother and I would often spend our days there, listening to music and enjoying the stained glass windows. As a boy, my brother decided to devote himself to serving the Eternal Rose. Our parents hoped that at least I would remain to run the family business. But he makes an apologetic gesture and flashes a disarming smile. It can't be helped. The goddess called me too. It's all right. I've plenty of cousins, second cousins, and other relatives. When the war is over, I'll go back there and see how they're doing. Wow, so you can paint. Never really been the artistic type myself. The cleric smiles shyly. That's too grand a word for it. But yes, I love to paint, and I know how to. Of course, a crusade isn't the best place for art. What I managed to draw here is, at best, sketches. I hope when this war is over, I'll be able to turn them into real paintings. Hey, everyone's got to have a hobby. Just a shame I don't know the first thing about art. Unfortunately, in this place and time, the art of war is more important. You are an expert in that, which means we may yet see a time when people in these lands carelessly paint, write books, and sing songs again. Well, that is a lovely way to put it. So you went from winemaker to war priest? Sosiel nods with a smile. Some clerics are proud of their tender hands, which have never touched anything heavier than a brush. But there's nothing ugly about hard-earned calluses. Indeed, I should say that saving the world is easier with strong hands. The smile disappears from Sosiel's face, and he looks down, adding, I'm sorry these hands couldn't save the people who died in Canabris. So you are bumming me out. How did you end up in Canabris anyway? A grim shadow falls over the cleric's face. I was hoping to find Trevor in the city. My brother. After my brother took his vows and was ordained a paladin of Shaylin, he departed for the crusade. He wrote home often, about everything he saw, his battles, the people he helped. From his letters I learned that he had joined the Eagle Watch in Canabris. But soon his letters became infrequent, and then they stopped altogether. We feared news of his death, but silence was our only answer. Not a word from him, or from his command, or his brothers in arms. Nothing. In the end, I couldn't wait any longer, and I came here myself, to find Trevor if he's still alive, or his grave if he should have perished. But my brother seems to have vanished. I tried asking the other paladins, but they refused to talk to me, and it's very much like they're trying to avoid the need to lie. I sent official requests to their orders command. Still, I wait in vain for an answer. I joined the local church of Shaylin, hoping to find out the truth one day, but the city was attacked by demons. I'm sorry to hear that. I know how it can be with family. So, your brother must have been an artist too, right? Was he a painter like you? No, but Sosiel smiles warmly. He's always been a good woodcarver. Toys, whistles, window frames. Our house was the most beautiful in the area, all dressed up in his wooden filigree, from the railing on the stairs to the Wonderbird on the roof. And you followed him all the way out here to a place like this. You must really love him. I respect that. You have no idea how much. I would follow him to the end of the world, into the abyss itself if need be. Trevor is an amazing man. I know he's alive. He's too stubborn to die. I hope one day he joins us, and then we will surely triumph. Yeah, let's hope. So how'd you end up hooking up with Galfrey? The cleric looks down. When the city was attacked by demons, there was a hospital in our church. Every one of us was prepared to fight to the last to cover the evacuation. But our Mother Superior wouldn't let me join the fight. She sent me for help. And everyone who stayed was killed. Why did she choose me? Maybe it was because I was new, the youngest and least experienced of the clerics, and I wouldn't be much help in battle. Or maybe she was giving me a chance to survive, while the rest of them bravely died. Shaylin be my witness, I did not ask for this. I would be honored to lay my own head next to theirs. I ran to the closest Mendevian garrison. I don't know by what miracle I got there. There were demons all around, and everything was on fire. I remember my horse was killed right under me while I fought off some shrieking monsters. But when I came to, I awoke among friends. My first thought was that it must be a dream. In my delirium, Queen Galfrey herself was dressing my wounds. But it was true. It was the Queen herself, tending to a lowly warrior. That's how I ended up in her army. I marched with them back to Canabris. To the ruins. If your brother's not here, why stay? I mean, this doesn't seem like the place for you. I am doing what the goddess destined me for, to keep our fighters safe. I am confident in our victory. The gods of good are on our side, so we cannot fail. But victory is not enough. I do whatever I can to help those who are holding off the forces of the Abyss, so they may live long enough to see victory, without losing themselves along the way. Every one of our soldiers deserves a home where people love them and are waiting for their return. When our soldiers are finally able to go home, on that day, I may earn the right to lay down my weapons forever. Alright, man, but if you're going to hang around for this whole war, you might want to at least look the part. You look like you're headed to a tea party. Sosiel looks down, for a few moments searching in silence for the right words. At last, he softly replies. When I first got here, to the World Wound, you know, the word terror doesn't convey half of what I felt. The land itself here is maimed and mutilated, desecrated. But more frightening still is what the war does to people, to their bodies and souls. For every knight in shining armor, there are 100 warriors whose souls are maimed with fear, suffering, and cruelty. Many have forgotten why they're here, and now know only war. When there's a break in the fighting, they drink themselves into oblivion and wallow in the mud. They're rotting alive and don't even seek help. They gave up on themselves a long time ago. Sosiel looks you in the face, and you see pain in his eyes. Don't misunderstand me. I don't condemn them. Quite the opposite. I want to help. And to do so, I must look after myself first. Not only to treat and support them, but to remind them that there's something else besides war. There's a normal world out there, a place where blood doesn't stain the ground, and people don't sleep in trenches, and a place where, as you said, they even occasionally have tea parties. The cleric smiles, but his eyes seem sad. I don't know, man. I appreciate what you're doing, but I feel like there's still just a lot of people who aren't cut out for this. I'm not sure your efforts are going to get the sort of response you're hoping for. Yes, sometimes it feels like my work is pointless, like I'm building a house of cards in the middle of a storm, or holding off an avalanche with a teaspoon. At those moments, I pray to Shayna. The goddess reminds me that nothing is in vain. It's difficult to control the madness of war, but it's possible. Oh man, and you know what? I think I'm going to hold off on flirting with Sosiel. That I think would just make me feel bad. He's such a sweetheart. You know, someone like Darren, he knows exactly what he's getting into when he flirts with a scoundrel like Vex. So, I don't feel bad about reciprocating, but Soso is just too pure. It would be like trying to flirt with Ember. Besides, I think ultimately I've got my sights set on someone else. All right, well, thank you, Sosiel. It's been a pleasure to meet you. You seem like a stand-up guy. Sosiel nods to you with a smile. So, tell me a bit more about your brother. Trevor, right? Trevor. He's always been my hero, ever since we were children. I was a coward, always telling petty lies, always running away from danger. Trevor always ran toward it. He had this saying, "An army stands until peace comes," A lie stands until the truth comes out. He never lied, never let injustices pass. Never... The cleric's voice trembles and breaks, and he shakes his head. He was 8 when he said he was going to be a paladin, and he always went toward that goal, day after day, never looking back. I remember the day he went off to fight. I thought, this is it. The war will finally end. Trevor will defeat all the demons and close the world wound. But... Sosiel gestures, helplessly. I'll do what I can to help you find him. And get some rest. We'll head out for the cemetery first thing. My pleasure. And I think that nicely lays the groundwork for Sosiel's side quest. Though it now occurs to me that I actually forgot to equip him and set him up for an outing. So let's hit the pause button real quick. I'll take care of that off screen. And then it's time for a funeral. We'll be right back. And we're back. Oh, right, and we do still have a mythic ability slot on Soso. But I think I'm going to hold off on that for now. Normally I'd use it to just slap an arbitrary animal companion on him, but that is a bit of a mythic sink. So I'll probably give him something a bit more conventional. Something healing or buff-oriented. No rush, though. We're not going to be using him on a regular basis. I like Soso, but he is a middling fighter at best. And Darren's just a much better choice when it comes to healing. Martyr Zacharias' Cemetery. An unassuming cemetery on the outskirts of Canabris, named after a martyr, a hero of the First and Second Crusades. It serves as the final resting place for crusaders who came from half a world away to fight demons, and for townspeople who never picked up a weapon in their lives. Despite the proximity to the world wound, the wardstone has always prevented demons from setting foot here, thereby protecting the place against desecration. Oh, good. You heard the descriptive text. We've got nothing to worry about here. I'm sure this will be a quick and uneventful funeral. An elderly man limps towards the grave and clumsily throws a handful of soil inside. How unfair. They were all so young. They had their whole lives ahead of them. They sacrificed themselves, and an old cripple like me still lives. An elven woman with a face bathed in tears steps up to the grave. The painting, it burned like everything else in the house. There is nothing left for me to remember you by. Nothing. A young man throws a handful of soil in the open grave and stands beside it for a while, lost in thought. Finally, he sighs and steps back. Sosiel throws a handful of soil in the grave in front of him. He takes a breath and prepares to speak, but it seems that he simply cannot find the right words. The cleric wipes his tear-filled eyes, gathers his resolve, and says in a gentle voice, I wish you a warm welcome in Shaylin's realm. We will win this war, I swear to you. We'll banish this ugliness and evil, make the world richer, and let peace blossom in it. We'll make sure anything like this... He breaks into sobs mid-sentence, then falls silent without finishing his declaration. Oof. Yeah, I'm not a fan of funerals. I mean, who is? That would be weird. But yeah, even as much of a murder hobo as he is, I think Vex knows to behave himself at a place like this. Thanks for your sacrifice. Good fight. Good night. Sosiel is too absorbed in his grief to hear you, but the other mourners nod in approval, wiping their teary eyes. They were good people. I can't believe they're gone. What is that? An elven woman shrieks in horror, disrupting the atmosphere of silent mourning. Her trembling hand points at something moving inside a grave. Suddenly, a corpse climbs out of the ground, wafting a horrible stench from its rotting body. It's a zombie! Run! Yeah, that seems about right. Also, did you guys really bury a bunch of bodies right along the curb here? That seems odd.
We won't fall here. I swear it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine. And really, I suppose, burying people on the curb's no stranger than burying them with shields and masterwork weapons.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
We need mage armor on both our casters. Oh. Lucky hit on Sela, but nothing to worry about. Nice. Okay, let's run interference for Waljif until he can get mage armor up. Man, he really flubbed that initiative check. Hey, that one still got hair. Good for him. And armor up.
Cover me, all right?
Oh, they're going for risk. I mean, yeah, I guess he would technically have the lowest AC right now.
You won't survive me.
And of course, we'll be resting right after this, so go ahead and cut loose, Ember. Live up to your namesake. Not too shabby. Oh, and there's our second wave. We're not really in trouble here, but those zombie lords are all toting masterwork scimitars. We need to wrap this up before they start landing lucky crits. Hi.
Begone, fiend!
Man, these guys just do not stop. This wouldn't be a problem if you'd all just cremate your dead. Actually, that might just make something even more nightmarish.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Ow. Rude. And we're done.
Into the fray!
With a heavy heart, Sosiel looks at the corpses of his friends, returned to rest by his own hand. What is this twisted mockery? Who could possibly... Wait, what's this? He bends down and recovers something from the ground. Take a look at this. Sosiel hands off a black onyx gem to you. Once precious, this stone is now covered in cracks, falling apart in your grip as you examine the engraved minotaur's head. The unholy symbol of Baphomet. The cleric's voice, perplexed at first, fills with rage as he speaks. Cultists. Simply murdering my friends was not enough for them. No, they had to come to the funeral and desecrate their graves. Don't worry, Sosiel. We'll make them pay for this once we've tracked them down. You're right. They can't be far. We can't allow them to torture anyone else this way. Wait, the townsfolk fled the undead without knowing they have a traitor among them. Wherever they are, they're in great danger. We must find them. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the plan, Soso. I imagine we'll find them all in the same place. Alright, let's toss up a quick round of buffs. Nothing too fancy. And that should do it. We do need to move quick, though. Some of these buffs are only a few minutes, so we don't want to dally too much. Let me out! I'm suffocating!
This is my kind of work.
The half-rotten corpse of a woman shambles out of the crypt. She leers at you with her empty eye sockets and croaks out a few words. Thank the gods, and thank you, too. I knew this was going to happen someday. They buried me alive. Uh-huh, and, you are? Baroness Bollard, at your service. The dead woman bobs in a clumsy curtsy, her legs barely supporting her. My estate is not too far from here. Let me assure you that all of you are always welcome there, assuming you are properly attired. So, skin and eyes optional? Got it. You do realize you're dead, right? How dare you? What utter foolishness! Do I look like a corpse to you? No, no, no. You forget yourself. You should be ashamed to say such things to a... The dead Baroness wags her finger at you in a chastising manner, but cuts herself short, staring at her own hand in horror. What? How? This simply cannot be. I shan't permit it. I'm afraid it's true. I am truly sorry. This graveyard was desecrated by a necromancer. It seems that he disturbed your rest as well. The dead woman covers her face with what remains of her decaying hands. So, I died. But even in death, the accursed servants of the Abyss torment me. Can nothing be done? Perhaps you could lay me to rest? I quite enjoyed my life in this world. But now there is no place for me here. Not in this miserable form. Do you have any idea how you got like this? Do you remember anything? Allow me a moment to think. It seems like it, yes. Indeed, I awoke because I heard a voice. They were reciting poetry, or a prayer, perhaps. I suppose those were spells, then? It must have been your thrice-damned necromancer. Yeah, that doesn't really help, but thanks. Would you like us to pass any final words on to your next of kin? That good-for-nothing band of hangers-on? Most certainly not, thank you very much. I am reasonably confident that they have already brought my estate to ruin and squandered the fortune I bequeathed to them. They will have to do without my missives. Spare us both that indignity and embarrassment. You see, I would still be in the company of those I truly care for, were it not for your discourteous sorcerer and his parlor tricks. Well, all right then. Let's get you taken care of, I guess. Thank you. Do feel free to take my burial jewelry. Those pieces are dreadfully out of fashion where I'm going anyway. It's cute that you think I need permission. Well, we killed an old woman and took her jewelry. This adventure's off to a great start. For we are clearly heroes. He said as he robbed additional graves. You know, to keep this stuff out of cultists' hands. Who knows what sort of schemes they could bankroll with all this. Yeah, let's not do that.
Are we in trouble yet? Endure this!
What horror! I can barely catch my breath. Thank you for saving our lives. You're welcome.
You're a good person. I like you.
Not the best opener, but we're getting there. We've got a stray in the back alley, and then another group just off to the right. But we've also got surprise, so let's see if we can knock out this whole first group. Hey, leave Ember alone.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Oh, okay. So, apparently Ember is delicious to zombies. That's a problem.
The light take you.
Yeah, let's clear those things off her. Oh, very nice. Okay, I think we're good. And I don't think the one in the alley is activated. Smooth. Thank you, Lan. Very nice. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so now it more clearly forewarns you of the difficult fight ahead, and more blatantly points out the potential detour you can take. I guess they did some re-scripting. I like that. Though, of course, we are not going to skip a combat encounter. That is loot and XP. And I suppose we should do something about this.
Make every strike count. Did you see that?
I did. It's, good to see those exploding glands are still functional even after death. Nature's weird. Whoop, that is not what I meant to do, but that's fine. Thankfully, we've got Vex right up top, and we have just the item we need for this. Okay, I thought we had just the item we needed for this. Oh, wait, okay. And there we go. That gives us total concealment from all ranged attacks for 1 minute. Nice. Good start. Actually, that might be cutting it a little too close. Let's give it some extra leeway. Oh, I think I mentioned it before, but we did scrounge up enough coin to grab the red salamander ring for Ember. Oh, right. I haven't reorganized Soso's taskbar, so instead of charging, he cast a spell. But that's fine. You just hang out there, buddy. We've got this. Let's trim those archers. Lovely. Oh. Nasty multi-hit on Waljeff. That's 27 damage. But, yeah, we should be good. That's just a third of his total hit points.
You've crossed the wrong month.
Die, please. And let's top off Waljeff. Close enough.
You won't survive me.
Oh, my. Nicely done, Kaz. Back in the beta, these guys dropped Mithril Plate. Oh, I see. Well, I would have preferred Mithril Plate, but I guess we'll take what we can get. That's still decent sales fodder. Oh, and we even gained a level up. Nice. That's level 7 now, I think. I am going to start taking care of that mostly off-screen now, because most of our companions are on autopilot from here on out. But we will touch on Vex's level up next time round. I just need to check my notes.
Always be ready for the worst.
All right. We've got about 15 minutes left on the clock, so let's wrap this up. Who are you? What do you want? All you have to do is die in the name of Baphomet. Have faith. You can do it. Don't you dare. Get away from them. Oh, wow. They have completely revised this. This is the end of your blasphemous magic. I won't let you harm the living or the dead anymore. Do you think I need your permission? Hey, you, Bonebags, stand up and kill! Oh, I see. Nice, nice. So they revised this so that you still have a final battle with the Necromancer, but they no longer arbitrarily split your party. I wholeheartedly approve. Obviously, we're going to take down the Necromancer first. Oh my, we have surprise too. I almost didn't notice that. Yeah, this is not going to be a long fight. Cast her down. Fireball out. Oh my goodness. Now that is a fireball. Fantastic work, Ember. Lands down about 40%. But I think we're good. In fact, not bad. Not great, but not bad either.
Endure this!
Stop that. I'll take that. Fantastic. Oh, and we've got one left on the stairs. I completely forgot about that guy. I surrender. Stop. I give up. Don't hit me. The young man in black robes throws his hands up in a dramatic gesture. You damned rat. How dare you? Suddenly, Sosiel becomes a totally different person. The artist's delicate hands clench into fists, while his voice comes out as a menacing roar. He leaps at the necromancer and breaks his nose with a single blow. You scumbag! I remember you! You came to our temple begging for healing just a month ago. We fed you. We shared our table with you and took you in. Then I don't even know what I'm going to do to you. Stop it. I surrender. Sosiel ignores the necromancer's cries of pain, punching him right in the teeth. The necromancer spits blood but continues, fighting past the wild blows to his increasingly bruised and busted face. You're a priest of Shaylin. I've surrendered. So you have to spare my life. Your goddess demands it. Wait, you two know each other? We do. That's Narty, a tailor's apprentice from Canabris. We healed him after he was mauled by a dog. Then he became a frequent visitor to our temple. He listened attentively to our sermons, studied the goddess's teachings, and praised our art. Sosiel grits his teeth. Were you lying to our faces the whole time? When we took you in? When you sat at our table? When we broke bread with you? Were you planning to stab us in the back even then? The whole time. Now you understand part of it. Let's dig into the rest. The cultist curves his bloody lips into an evil sneer. I was hoping to lure you to our side. It wouldn't have been hard. We are everywhere, even inside you. Inappropriate. I think you know it too. You are not like all those pious devotees. You pretend to be, and maybe you fooled yourself. But we both see who you really are. You have that same demonic rage inside you. It's a pity I never had time to kindle it into a devouring flame. But sometimes you have to resort to a backup plan. Having you die at the hands of your dead friends was such a good idea. It's a pity it didn't work. Shut up! Sosiel swings his fist but stops it in midair. His clenched fist trembles as he stares at the cultist, with an expression of pure hatred. You want to kill me right now, don't you? But you can't. You're a good boy, Sosiel. So loyal to your goddess. You'll have to let me go or commit a sin, so I win either way. Witness the genius of our Lord Baphomet! Ha ha! Sosiel, is this crackpot right? Would your goddess really frown on you executing a murderer? Yes. The Eternal Rose is known for her grace. She teaches us to show mercy to anyone who asks for it. It's one thing to slay an enemy in battle, but a captive. You must try to save their soul, to show them the beauty of the world, persuade them to abandon the path of evil. It's difficult, but the world is better for it. I'm just repeating your own sermons back to you. Come on, Sosiel, try to make me repent my sins. Perhaps your kind words will make me abandon Baphomet's teachings, run to Shayna for redemption, and start knitting some masterpieces of my own. The cultist smirks impudently. Sosiel, do you really think this guy deserves a second chance? This guy? I don't know. May Shayna forgive me, but I have never had to struggle with this burden before. He looks at the cultist with visible disgust. I had no time to try healing the souls of villains. I was always preoccupied with healing the bodies of those hurt by them. The cleric looks up at the sky. Forgive me, Eternal Rose. You teach us to be merciful to our enemies and love them. But I am too weak, I'm afraid. Grant me absolution from this sin, for this kind of love is beyond me. Shayna only throws a fit if you actually kill him, right? So you'd be fine if you, say, just beat him half to death? Sosiel knocks the necromancer down to the ground. Enough. He's defeated and will disturb the dead no longer. Pummeling him further is not justice, only revenge. I had absolutely no idea there was so much rage in me. It's a shame, a disgrace, but I must admit that I enjoyed beating him. Forgive me for letting you see me like this. It should have never happened. Sosiel wipes the necromancer's blood off his knuckles and steps away from him. You are the commander, and he is your captive. It's up to you to decide his fate. I surrender. Here, take everything I've got. Just don't kill me. The cultist turns out his pockets. So his fate's in my hands, huh? I don't suppose you have any preferences, Sosiel? Sosiel stares at the cultist, then through clenched teeth, utters, "I have no right to decide whether he should live or die. You are in charge here." Fair enough. Turns out my goddess has a slightly different view on vengeance. Guess we've got one less cultist to worry about. No, please, listen, You silence the necromancer forever with a single well-aimed blow. Sosiel bows his head. May the goddess forgive him, for I will not. He looks at you. Thank you for taking this sin upon yourself. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm here for, but you're welcome. Sosiel examines the devastated graveyard, then diverts his attention to the terrified townspeople. It's all right, you're safe now. We should bury the bodies again. This is a place of peace, and we must not leave it desecrated like this. The townsfolk are clearly terrified of even looking at the fallen undead, but Sosiel's soft words reassure them. As they work together, the graveyard soon regains its tranquil appearance. After a prayer, Sosiel bows his head before the graves of his friends for the last time. May the eternal rose grant them peace at last. Let's be on our way. We have many more innocents to protect from the horrors of this war. And thus it ends. Just, slightly more uplifting than Sela's thing, but, not by much. Man, this really is a much bleaker game than Kingmaker was. Maybe, I mean, that might just be selective memory on my part. There was some, pretty messed up stuff in Kingmaker. Oh, that liar. He said he gave us everything he had. Though I suppose I can understand why he'd want to, squid away the invisibility scroll. I'm betting if we had actually arrested him, he would have just used that to escape captivity. Alright, folks. I think we're at a pretty good stopping point here. Obviously, we do still have a follow-up with Sosiel, but we'll tackle that next time. For now, we will hit the pause button. I'll do a slightly more thorough sweep just to make sure we didn't miss anything on this map. And I'll take a look at our level-up options, and we'll pick up here next time. As we tend to a few more loose ends around camp, and I think we're just about ready to actually get this crusade moving. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. Links are in the description.
Every cloud has a silver lining, doesn't it?